Buongiorno!
Välkommen.
Emanuele.
And Jonathan. All right. I like that. That's good. So the topic this week, what we're going to be discussing, what we want to sort of go over with you guys, if you're unfamiliar, is what it takes to sort of be on the buy side of real estate and what
Buy-side deals, basically.
buy-side deals, what that entails. Yeah. And we'll start it off with a story. Emmanuel, you got one for us?
Yeah, let me tell you a story. All right. So a story that goes over and over and over and over and over, and I'm tired of it. But anyway, let me tell you this story. So we have a buyer that calls the broker. In this case, calls me, luckily, and asks me, listen, I want to buy a property that has this square footage in this area, this kind of building, so on and so forth. And obviously, I nailed it. I picked the right property at the first showing. I nailed it. I got it. I know I got it.
Yeah.
And then the buyer says, listen, Emmanuel, I actually love this property, but can we see some more?
Yeah.
And me, okay, I'll show you more property. I know already this will be a complete waste of time for me and for a buyer.
Yeah.
But I show him another 20, 30 properties. This is a 3-month process because, it's a long process to actually
this can
schedule
also
showings.
happen for renters.
Yeah. So after a month, couple months goes on, I show him all the properties. Then the buyer finally telling me, Emanuele, you know what we should do? We should go back to the first property we saw and make an offer.
Yeah.
And I tell him, I told you that was the one for you.
Yeah. And then when you go back,
then I go back and the property is sold, is gone.
Yeah.
And then it's my fault. The property is not on the market anymore, obviously, after 2 months, because it was a great property, priced correctly.
Right.
I picked it right for him. And this is going over and over and over. And obviously then it's the broker's fault because the buyer doesn't recognize.
You should have biased him more in the start or whatever, as they usually say. But that's what the excuse that they'll make.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I obviously, when I show the first property, I tell him also why this is the right property for him. Because, in real estate, it is mathematical. But it's also a lot about psychological.
There's
job.
emotion, right?
Yeah,
There's
emotion.
yeah.
And you have to understand with who you are dealing with and what actually would be the best fit for your lifestyle.
Yeah. I think that's why it becomes, and again, what kind of client would you say this one is? Usually this situation where this happens.
Usually 90% of the time is the first time buyer.
Yeah. Or first time renter, or just renter in general, actually, for new to the city, right?
Because usually when a buyer buys the second or the third home, has already built confidence with his broker. So he knows that the broker will give him will pick for him. Yeah, he built trust. He will pick for him the right property. But that's unfortunately what's happened. Basically, these buyers, they want to understand the market with you, which is understandable. I advise them, but they actually want to...
they want to learn.
They want to learn. And you are not calling an expert to teach you the job. You call an expert to don't waste your time and just...
You get the job done. We're here to make it easier for you, right? And it's strange, we've talked about this before, but it's strange how if you see it in other businesses, right? You call an expert, they want to get something, you want them to get something done for you to make it easier for them.
And they actually will get mad if you let me waste your time.
Exactly. And that's because in other businesses...
And that's the big because.
This is the big because.
We know that. We know why.
It's because they're paid hourly, right?
Exactly.
So it's like what you were saying earlier. If you're hiring a lawyer, you pay them fucking, I don't know how much, right? But a lot an hour. Imagine if you hired us and let's say, since we are sort of at the top level of our field, so imagine hiring a top level lawyer in their field in New York City and hourly rates and saying, I want to learn more about the fucking law. Teach me about the law before I go into this case. But I guess that is where the emotion comes in, right?
Yeah.
Where in law, there's no emotion. But the whole argument there is that...
By the time you learn law, you have spent 50 grand.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I think... I don't know if there's a way around that, truth be told. Like, I haven't, because it's hard to tell a client you haven't worked with before. It's hard to say.
Trust you right away, bluntly.
Trust you right away, bluntly. And then it is also hard to say, here, I want a retainer. Like, basically, like, if you're not buying, why are we talking? Like, why is this? But I will say, like, if I gave you a paper here and you're a client.
If there is a good not excuse, but a good reason why they're not buying. Maybe in the market condition, that is not the right fit for him. But I know in the next near future, I will sell you something, and it's totally fine with that.
Right.
But if you expect me to teach you real estate, you already pick me because you know already that I have a track record of successful deal and having my clients happy. Yeah. So I don't have to teach you real estate, and you should just trust your broker and go for it to not incurring these mistakes.
Yeah.
Usually, in your experience, which kind of clients are those?
I mean, they're definitely the first-time buyers. They're first-time, or maybe not first-time renters, but they're new to the city. What happens a lot with the rentals, especially in New York, we're in New York City.
Rentals is very shady.
Yeah, it's shady, and it's because we have StreetEasy. But this floats into the buyer side too. And I also think, honestly, I think reality TV shows a little bit to do with it too. They want to be more involved. Real estate is right in front of their face. It's something that you think you can do. Whereas law, for example, a normal person is not like, oh, I think I can do this. They would never, they're not like, oh, I think I can do this.
A lot of free information on the internet.
Right.
And when they see property, maybe, let's say I show you a property for $1 million.
Yeah.
And then they saw on StreetEasy that there is a property for $795. And wow, why didn't you show me that? I know why. There are reasons why. Because this doesn't fit your documents, your financials,
it's
your
a co-op,
criteria.
it's yeah.
So you just gotta...
that's the trust part, though. And I'm trying to, like, it's weird how to...
Unfortunately, our time is for free.
It's for free,
and so people don't understand. But honestly speaking, your time as a buyer, your time is money too. Yeah, so honestly speaking, I wouldn't want to waste my time and see 100 properties that I know already that are not going to let me be happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
You know what's the thing? That this is actually a great salesperson tools. I have colleagues that they show, let's say you are my buyer, I show you 3 property that I know you're not going to like it. And then at the 4th one, I know you're going to love it because compared to the other one, they are great. But actually that property is not that great either. And then you sell.
Right.
I respect that, but I don't want to be your salesperson. My goal is not to sell you something no matter what. My goal, even though this is actually the final goal, final achievement, but I want to be your advisor. I will tell you the truth from start to finish. And I know this will pay off anyway in the long term. You will buy something from me because this is actually what's pay off. The truth always pay off. But these people, they just want to sell you something and they use a psychological game to let you love something that actually is not the right fit for you.
And that could be done. Like, don't get us wrong. We
can do that if you want. If you really want to see 10 property and buy something, I can do this game, this trick. But this is not actually what you want. You want a real advisor, and we are here to advise you to pick the best property. Right. Listen, when you go to a wealth management or a financial advisor, what do? You just tell your goal, and the financial advisor give you 3-4 kind of strategy. A conservative one, an aggressive one, a long term, a short terms, and then they let you pick the strategy. But they actually do the action themselves.
Of course. So they give you the criteria. You give the criteria, and then they do their thing.
They pick and choose the best stock for that strategy. Yeah. You don't want to tell them, listen, let me see how this stock perform. And then after you lose a lot of money, then you finally say to them, okay, you were right. Let me not lose money anymore. Because when there are money involved, people doesn't want to take the risk to fail. Right. When there is not really time and money involved, they just want to...
They want to fuck around.
Yeah.
They want to waste time.
But then at the end of the day, they lose the property of their dreams.
I know. So let me ask you this. Do you think it would be better, and again, the trust issue comes into play here, but do you think it would be better, let's say we're meeting a buyer for the first time, but first of all, if you're reaching out to Serhant, you're expecting a certain kind of service, right? A certain level. But if I handed you a contract as a first-time buyer saying, you're sort of like, if you do this with me, you're agreeing to buy something, and it's a certain form of rule of layout. If you back out for some reason, sort of just wasting my time for a year, because this can take up to a year. Sometimes it can take a year. Like, you can work with a client where you make $10,000 an hour, or you can make $1 an hour. It all depends on, how long that whole period takes. But if I handed you a sheet here saying, I am doing my service, I'll give you my expert service, but you sign it saying, I will work with you exclusively and I will buy something. And if I don't, And conditions apply, of course. Like if the market is shit and something happens, then okay, you don't have to buy. But to a certain degree, right?
We cannot actually do that by law, but
we cannot.
No, we can't. But unfortunately, we can't. But it's okay. It's a good example because this would let them. This is actually a good example and process to let them understand that you don't want to waste your time.
Right, but they do it in commercial. I've had a commercial agent. He does it. I don't know if it's legal, but
we don't want to get too involved in that. But anyway, long story short, guys, trust us. We are here to advise you. We are not here to sell you something no matter what.
Yeah,
we want you to pick the best property and live in the best property for you.
Yeah, we want it to be equal. We're not trying to waste your time. Don't try to waste ours. We're trying to help you and get expert advice, right? So I think, it's definitely trust. Maybe leave in the comments. Let us know what you would like to hear from a real estate agent when you first meet them. What is something, and this is not for us to win you over.
Let's do this poll. You want to see 5 properties first and then see the one? Or you want to see right away the one and don't waste time?
Right.
Leave us a comment. Let us know what you prefer. And you know what? We might be wrong.
We might be wrong.
All right.
Could be.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
guys. It
guys.
was a pleasure as always. Ciao.
We'll see you next time. Bye.